Crystal City, also known as Cristal, and in the streets called El Vidrio. We are about last part of June of 2024, and I'm taking you back to about 1953, my first day of school. And this is in regards to education. But before I do, I have a message. I have a message for anyone that's not family or close friends or members of La Raza Unida party, excluding them. But those of you who have never known anything about La Raza Unida and have doubts, have negative thoughts about La Raza Unida party and its accomplishments, if you're thinking that La Raza Unida was unnecessary, it did very little, it created havoc, and any negative thoughts, I'm gonna share with you one story, one of many stories, and I'm gonna let you decide whether if you were taken back to the era of La Raza Unida party, and then I would ask you, would you join La Raza Unida party? Okay, and my first day of school, I left my safe place, which is my home. And I say it's my safe place because I was under the protection of my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, tios and tias, aunts and uncles, and even madrinas. It was a very safe and tranquil place. But then I would have to walk to school, and it's a long walk, and I'm sure you've heard about, the cliche about walking to school. Well, it was about 1.2 miles, but that wasn't too bad, and we were used to walking. The thing is, once I got to the school grounds, it was a battlefield. And let me explain. When we got there was all sorts of rules for Hispanics. We would get punished for, speaking out loud, not speaking loud enough, walking too fast, walking too slow, speaking Spanish, anything to get punished. And I'm talking about whippings. So it wasn't a safe place there, not a place that we looked forward to being there, but we had to be there by law. So, but once we got there, all the kids, a lot of them were real seasoned. And I was seasoned myself in certain ways. But as soon as you got there, I can see everybody talking to each other. And everybody was asking excitedly, are you Cero Bolero? Cero Bolero. And I'll try to interpret that, meaning Sub-Zero or Zero Sub-Zero. Cero Bolero meant if you did not speak one word of English, you would be a Cero Bolero. You would just have to sit there in class. And the teacher would do the instructing, and if you didn't know the language, you had to catch up on your own. Nobody could help you. No bilingual. I believe it was even against the law to speak English, or to speak Spanish, rather. What that resulted in, that some of the kids that didn't know any words of English, the first 6 weeks, they didn't catch up. They would remain there on Cero Bolero. And they would give you another 6 weeks, see if you could catch up. And some of them did catch up. I was fortunate. That I went to pre-K. No pre-K existed, but we had a little community school in my barrio, in my neighborhood, that I had, my parents made me attend. So I picked up a little English and I also a little Spanish and writing. Anyway, I was pretty good. But some of the kids, the question is, some of the kids had to stay there all year long because they didn't catch up. And some of us moved out and some of us didn't. Now, by the time I got to 5th grade, there was young ladies and young men that were already 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15 years old, because they had to stay behind because they never did pick up the English language so quickly. So they were already kind of old. Now the young ladies, let me tell you, there we had some beautiful, beautiful young ladies, and they started, by that time they had already started like lipstick and comb their hair and dress real nice, and they were real nice girls. I don't know how many times I fell in love, but I was just a kid. And this is the situation that in the first 6 weeks, if you would get a C in conduct, you would get a whipping. Now, boys didn't. A lot of boys, they just couldn't take the whipping. Oh, they would throw themselves on the ground, on the floor, and holler and scream and carry on. And I don't blame them, because I'm not talking about a spanking. I'm talking about a whipping. And some teachers took pride in whipping. They have designed paddles. Some of them had holes so they wouldn't have resistance, air resistance. Some were wide, some were real thin. They took pride in, and they named them. So a lot of the guys, they took advantage of that. See, because when you were getting a whipping, you could hear it. There was no air conditioner, doors were open and stuff. So you could hear the whipping. And after the whipping, the boys would hurry up back to the classroom and went right to their seats and sat down. Why? Because it was impressive. See, they just got a whipping and your butt is burning, but if you sit down on the chair, it would burn some more, but that would impress the girls, right? So we had fun with that. Of course, we didn't have fun with the whipping. Now, the teacher would come out and say every 6 weeks, and I'll give you an example. Maria, you have a C in conduct. And she's trying to argue. She says, yes, I saw you talking without permission, so you're going to get a whipping. And once that was said, the room became very, very quiet, because we knew what was coming up. And this is the case. A young lady, beautiful young lady, nice, well-mannered, spoken softly, so knowledgeable, so seasoned. She would have to come up to the front of the class. She wasn't taken to the principal's office to whipping. She would come to the front of the class. She would face the class. The teacher, as I'm sitting down, would open a drawer and get out a paddle. And the young ladies knew the routine. What they had to do was pick up their dress and hold it up to their waist. Now they were showing her bare behind, her panties. He was the one that was looking at it. Now we're facing her, and it was like the soul was sucked out of her. The embarrassment. He's looking at her behind. He would get the pedal and go tap, tap, tap. Now we're ready to explode. We're just so angry. We knew what he was doing. We knew what he was doing to that poor girl. And we couldn't do anything about it. Nobody to go to, nobody to complain to, no laws, no phones, no 911, no police, no counselors, nothing. We couldn't complain about anything. So we sat there angered at what they were doing to her. And tap, and tap. And those poor girls had their face, their hands on her face, just totally exhausted, totally embarrassed, and they had to walk back to their desk and sit, and there was not, you could hear a pin drop. Nobody was saying anything. And you could see the frustration on everybody, and everybody was so angry at what they had been doing to her. And how do you cope with that? I'll tell you what, see, you would need now, if it happened now, of course, the teacher would go to prison. But you would need psychologists, psychiatrists, I don't know. How do we cope? Well, this is the way we cope. As soon as that bell rang, we went outside for recess. And, you know what? Let's form a team. I want Maria to do it. Maria, you pick me. That's the way we would handle it. Maria, I want you to be the captain. And she was still embarrassed. But I said, no, pick me, Maria. No, I want to be in your team. No, pick me. So she started picking, now me. So she got her team. Now we play ball. All right, Maria, it's your turn to hit. All right. So they pitched the ball. They hit it. Run, Maria, run. Oh, they're going to throw it to first base. Oh, he missed the ball. Keep running, Maria, keep running. Everybody was cheering. And by the time she's getting to third base, you could see her excitement and laughing. Got to third, do it again. All right, they're going to shoot the ball to home. Run. And she got the home run. Yay. And then they began to feel a little better. So that wasn't the end of it. We made it a point. From then on, every time we would see her in the morning, we would say, good morning, Maria. How are you? And that's the way we took care of each other. Now, if you fast forward years and somebody offered a solution for problems like that, namely, La Raza Unida Party was a way out. It was a tool. The only thing it was a tool to get people elected so we could have some kind of defense. The whole community jumped at it because it was a way out. It was a way to stop abuses of children. That's the only way we could get out of it. And we all eagerly joined La Raza Unida Party, and we brought change. We brought bilingual education. We did so many changes. We get good teachers. Now, my question to you is this. If you were in that situation, would you join a party, Raza Unida Party, or any other party that would bring you out of misery of which we went through? I'll leave it up to you. Thank you.